Good evening, this is Stormcastle Jackson. Today I'd like to talk about Giant Size X-Men. Now, this is a facsimile copy of Giant Size X-Men, not the original. I've been meaning to make this video for a couple months. I picked this up not that long ago and had the pleasure of enjoying amazing art and reading this, Len Weems, the writer and editor, Dave Cockrum, the illustrator. First appearance of Storm, Nightcrawler, John Proudstar, Colossus, or Wolverine. The reason why I was so glad to get this was back in 1986, 16, and I was working as a dishwasher at a place called El Torito that no longer exists. I was working hard doing dishes and stuff, and besides learning my love of Mexican food, I had a friend who was going to this live martial arts classes, and right nearby was a comic store. And one day he showed me, hey, why don't you come by and check it out? And inside that store, they had a copy of Giant Size X-Men. They also had a special edition X-Men book that had come out like in 83 or 84. I can't remember exactly which. But I saw it and I wanted it, and I saved a couple weeks and spent $50 buying that Giant Size X-Men #1. And I was very glad, to have it, comic book fan. I was enjoying the X-Men run. It's really good Chris Claremont stories. Let's see, 86 would be, I want to say, Rogues joined the X-Men. Storm had lost her powers, life, death. Professor X kind of had his legs back. Rachel appears, Selene. Great time. Fall of Mutants was Inferno. Well, Fall of Mutants was in 88, I believe, or Inferno was 88. But anyways, I remember getting this, the original copy, and I loved the book. It cost me, I want to say, like $50. And I was an X-Men fan, but more importantly, I'm more of an Avengers fan. Vision, Scarlet Witch. I'm gone over there too, but I'm an Avengers fan, and I had the book for maybe a year or so. And I ended up trading it off. And honestly, it's thinking now what I got. At the time, I felt I had a better deal. I believe amongst them was, I think I got the full Watchmen. I got a bunch of things. Much more value than what I had paid for the Giant Size X-Men. And honestly, $50, I mean, it was within my, I was in high school, it was my realm to eventually buy again if I want another copy. And then there was a special edition book that had come out with wraparound cover, which I haven't seen since, in forever. So it never, ever crossed my mind about buying another copy. I was hunting for Avengers #1, book that I had hunted for years, come close a bunch of times, and Detective Comics 225, which is the first appearance of Martian Manhunter. I don't have anything Martian Manhunter over here, I'm sorry. Sometimes I have a t-shirt on. Another favorite character, my favorite DC character is Martian Manhunter. And as the years went on, I just ever thought of owning another copy of it out of my mind. Other books, other things, other hunts, and honestly, today, in 2024, I would have loved to have that $50 copy of the book. I mean, no, it wasn't near magnitudes. I don't know, maybe 6, maybe an 8. I can't remember. It's uh, almost 40 years ago. Um, so I was at the comic store and I saw a copy of this. And I've been having them put all the facsimile copies in my thing. I'm really enjoying facsimile copies. And from the comments, I see there are a lot of other people who are enjoying facsimile copies too. I mean, honestly, it's $7.99 for Giant Size X-Men is much better than what is it, a $10,000, $12,000 book or more, And getting this, I mean, it's amazing art on the inside. Mostly it made me think back, not so much as having them wearing the book, is it brought me back in time. I could almost see the shop that I went to in 1986, the place I was at, the feel, such a different time. Sorry, I didn't the camera shake. And more importantly than having a copy of it again, was for a brief time from my ride, the 20 minutes back to my house, I was thinking about, my youth, because I'm old, long in the tooth. I mean, beard on me, Gen X. But it was more like thinking about just that back time when I thought, $50 for a book? Oh, I gotta be crazy, but, and spur of the moment thing. Well, not spur of the moment thing. Well, it was. I told the guy, say, hey, you hold it for me. And then I kind of felt obliged to go back 2 weeks later. I was paid. But, it brought me back. And facsimile books are good because, like I said in the other video, and people are saying in the comments of the other video, is that it allows people to buy copies of these and read. It has the old, backstories of the characters in them and everything. They're not just reprints or you would find inside, a trade. I mean, you got the ads, the bullpen bulletin. In other books, you have the letter pages. But for me, for 20 minutes on that ride back to my house, I slipped back many years back to 1986 when I had the book. Just the feel, the thought, and maybe it's the nostalgia. But, again, many people will not ever be able to get hold of. I mean, Giant Size X-Men, there's only so many copies left, and a lot of collectors are holding them tight, or they're selling them for a bit more. And it gives people a chance to hold a copy of comic history. But for people like me, it's a moment to hold that book and think back to when we held it. I mean, I wasn't collecting comics. I wasn't collecting comics in 1975. I was 5 years old. But it makes me think back, like 11 years later, 1986, when I bought a copy. That's when I walked in that store. When I looked around, I looked at the glass cases. I saw the things there on the wall, all those books. And for 20 minutes, I was transported back to a store that closed probably in the late 80s. Friend I haven't seen in forever. But for a moment, I was transported back to when I could hold a copy of this. And no, I'll probably never own another copy of Giant Size X-Men #1 unless an amazing deal came by. Because honestly, I'm hunting for a new copy of Avengers #1 or Avengers 57, which I've never owned a copy of. First Prince edition. I mean, in all my years, I've heard the reprints of it. I had the Marvel Triple Action, but I never an actual physical copy of Avengers 57. It's just one of those books that's out of my hands. Or a new copy of Amazing Spider-Man 238 for this guy. But for a moment, I can remember this point in time. Anyways, this is Stormcastle, and my camera keeps shaking. Sorry about that. Have a good day. Bye.